it's wonderful to see people pouring into the Zoom room, and lovely to know that there's a whole family out there on Facebook Live. We're so glad that you're joining us here today in the Daily Antidote of Song. And we're going to be singing you into the room shortly. I don't know about your heart, but my heart feels a little heavy, and it's to bring some lightness and compassion and joy and positivity into our lives is a wonderful thing to do through song. And it's so great that we've got Rik Palieri joining us here. We'll be talking a whole lot more and doing some wonderful singing together. So here we are on day 810. It's so good to see you, Joe, in this Daily Antidote. It's a fabulous program by Carpe Diem Arts. And we're glad you're here with us, Rik Palieri, and your auto harp. We know we'll be hearing more about that soon. Oh, it's so good to be singing all together. Yes, it can lift our spirits so high. Hello, Jaden, you're rockin' the tech. Hello, Hoda in BC. It's good to have you as a neighbor. Hello, Steve and Michelle. Hello, Sheila in Florida. Hello, Susan. Hello, Leslie Shaw. And hello, Jenny in Suffolk, UK. Oh, hello, Kate in Charlottesville. Oh, hello, Carolyn in Boise, Idaho, 810. Hello, Dan Walker in Vienna. Good to see ya, Dennis Donnelly, our dear friend. Hello, Kathleen, all the way in Albuquerque. Hello, Becky. Hello, Christiana. Hello, Susan G. Hello, Sue. Hello, Deli. Hello, Bonnie Schuster, also in Boise. Yeah? Hello, LMG. Big hugs to Darla. Hello, Pauline in Newcastle, UK. Oh, hello, Uma, Amanda, and Miles. Oh, hello, Gary Pausner. Hello, Jim in New York City. Hello, Luda with that wonderful, consistent heart. Hello, Sarah Page in Texas. Hello, Ralph and Penny in Victoria. Big love. Hello, Susan in Seattle. Hello, Nancy and your gorgeous Irish cow. Oh, hello, Sherry in New Hampshire. Hello, Martha Wagner. Hello, Storm. Hello, Mabel and Bob and the Bears. Hello, Aloysius, still connecting to audio. Oh, hello, Fred in Silver Springs. Keep going. Ooh, something just popped out of the way. Hello, Loriana Kachina and someone else in that little square. Hello, Bronwyn in Victoria. Hello, Jean in Pittsburgh. Hello to Ruth. Hello, Joni. I'm switching screens. I'm getting reoriented. Ah, hello, James Harkness. Oh, hello, Cat Cox. Hello, Curly Tops. That is everyone I've got here on the screens. We're so glad we're all here in the Daily Antidote of Song. It fills my heart to be here with you in the Daily Antidote of Song. And let's all take a big breath because we can and because we need it. Here we go.
Big credit to John Lennon and Paul McCartney for that song with the little help from my friends. There's always a Beatles song for every occasion, it seems.
And it's why we gather, because music lifts our hearts and spirits when they most need it. And sometimes I'm without words for some things. And although we are in a different country, these issues and concerns affect us all. And we just need to, shine light and hope and do the work that must be done to bring about the world we all need and want.
So we'll acknowledge that there was this morning the U.S. Supreme Court did, in fact, overturn Roe v. Wade, which will land heavily on many hearts in this room. And so we're holding space for that. And we'd like to introduce our new friend, Rik Palieri, who's coming in from Vermont. And Rik, welcome. Great to see you again. We've watched you here on the program. And take it away.
You know, you guys, first of all, you did a spectacular opening, because that takes a lot of creativity to figure out how to rhyme all of those words. So my hat is off to you, Cathy. That was really great. And I am delighted to be here. Thank you for the email. I've been working on a lot of different projects today, so I wasn't aware of this sad news that just took place, and made me switch gears, folks. I was planning something different, but in light of the news, we had to address the situation. And I think that we were talking about before we actually came on live about the idea about it, for such a long time when we would have a moment like this, we would turn to our mentors. We would turn to Pete Seeger, and we would turn to Utah Phillips. We would turn to so many of those elders that were always there to shine the light on the situation. And there are so many others that are out there, like Holly Near. There's just a lot of really inspirational people that we look to for strength, and a lot of the young people who are out there right now, who are on the front lines, so to speak, doing the hard work. They're out there making sure that a lot of the younger people are dealing with some of these serious issues, that are going on. And I felt that it was important for our community to, if we didn't know this song, to learn it. This is a song by Utah Phillips. It's a song that some of you know, Singing Through the Hard Times. I'm sure that some of you do know it, but maybe some of you don't. I was involved with the album called Singing Through the Hard Times, a tribute to Utah Phillips. And none of us realized how important that project would be. We were doing it originally to help out Utah during one of his health problems. He was having congestive heart failure, and we were trying to raise a little bit of money and so forth to help him with some of the different things that he was dealing with. And then it became apparent that Utah was not going to be with us. And it turned into more of a tribute album. And the sad thing is that Utah, he kind of faced that situation. He was going to have an operation, but he decided that no, he wasn't going to go that route. And so we recorded this album, and there were so many people involved in the project. If you look through Singing Through the Hard Times, you'll see Gene Ritchie was involved, and Tom Paxton, and Kathy Fink, and Mark C. Markser, and the producer Dan Schatz. He invited me to sing a song on it, and on the recording that I did was Larimer Street. I'm not going to sing that today. That'll be for another show. He recorded Singing Through the Hard Times on the auto harp. And I thought that, it was just Dan's birthday not too long ago. So to honor Dan and the whole project, that I would play the song on the auto harp. Now, you folks there, out there, you probably know the auto harp. We all remember being in elementary school, right? And the teacher would pull out this big box with the buttons on it. And in my case, I can remember she came over and she took a rubber door stop. and she just would hold the one chord, and then she would just strum across it like this. And maybe, down in the valley. Come on, kids, sing. valleys. Just that one chord. So it was not like, you didn't think of like this instrument was a very cool instrument. You know, you associated with that kind of feeling. And then you listen to, the Carter family later on. And June Carter and Mother Maybelle Carter and Mike Seeger and the New Lost City Ramblers and, oh God, and Brian Bowers and so many people who can really play the auto harp. And it just blows your mind what this instrument can do. Now, for you folks at home, you're saying, well, okay, Rick, so how do I play this thing? Well, you look for the chord, all right? So we're going to sing this in D. So we're going to sing it in D. And I got a thumb pick and a finger pick. Now, some people use more than one pick, because you can. So you can see you can get a little bit of a melody in there by just plucking your finger like that, just pinching it together. So let's try this chorus together. I'm going to slow it down so we can get it. All right. So we are singing through the hard times. If you're playing along in G, next is the G. Singing through the hard times. Back to your D. Working for the good times to come. Here's your A. Back to D. We are singing through the hard times. G. Singing through the hard times. Working for the good times to come. So that's it. That's the chorus. It's going to come around a couple of times. I'm going to just speed it up just a. It's kind of nice right where it's at. Now, I know that with all this heaviness that's in our hearts right now, this song might lift your spirits a little bit. It's like I can remember going to visit Pete Seeger one time. I was up at his house there, and Pete was out in the yard. We were talking, and then all of a sudden he ran. He ran and he sat down, and he started staring down the valley. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, what are you doing, Pete? And his daughter, Tina, says, oh, he does this all the time. And then Pete said, Rick, look down the valley. Can you see it? I'm saying, can I see it? He says, no, look hard. Can you see it? And I looked down in the valley, and there was a train with a headlight. You could barely see it, just shining, going through the mountains. And Pete was smiling. He says, see the train? See the headlight? And that was Pete Seeger, always looking for the light. So let's look for the light together, and we'll sing this song. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. Well, sometimes in our living, it gets so dark and lonesome. Seems like there's nothing we can do. So we reach out to each other, raise a song together, and let our voices carry us through. Chorus now. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. And when the war clouds gather, it's so easy to get angry and just as hard not to be afraid. But we know in our own hearts, no matter what happens, we just can't turn our back and walk away. Chorus. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. Hand in hand together, we'll help each other carry that light of peace in us every day. If we could learn to live it, walk and talk and give it, that light of peace won't be so far away. Let's try it. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. One more time, try it. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come.
Thank you, Rik.
Fabulous, perfect song for all kinds of times, and especially today. Thank you.
You know, the interesting thing in the words, if you look at the words and, you know, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come, not waiting.
Yeah.
That was like really important. Like, because usually, you know, that's what you do. You know, we're waiting for the good times to come. No, Utah wrote working for the good times to come. And I think that's a really important ingredient in this song. And I think it's an important ingredient to our lives about if we're going to have any kind of a change, we have to work for it. Yeah. And I think that's the sadness of this moment for me, is that I think, you know, back a long time ago, back when we had that election, remember that Hillary election, where a lot of people decided, nah, I'm not going to go and vote, or I'm going to vote for something else. I think none of us, me included, none of us had an idea of what was really behind that whole election. It was not, you know, just to try and get, you know, who elected, but there was a bigger agenda that was underneath all of this. And now you're seeing the effects as we try to do things. Now you folks, Dick and Cathy, are up there in Canada, our neighbors, and they're kind of watching our country go through this struggle that we've been going through, where as hard as we try to get things done, we're having a hard time because the way that the courts are stacked right now, it's going to be very difficult. So that was the big agenda that a lot of us, I don't think, really saw the bigger picture of what was going on. And now, okay, folks, what do? We can't let this moment go. We have to make sure that on any election, that you go out and you cast your vote. Even in your own town. You know, I mean, here in Vermont, we're pretty liberal folks, but don't be fooled, because there are a lot of candidates that are coming in right now because the field is wide open.
Right.
And if we don't be mindful about voting, we could be in a different situation.
Yeah.
We could be. You don't know. And don't say it can't happen to you, because look what just happened.
Yeah, and well, we have, our system, of course, is different, but we're not immune here in Canada. I know there's plenty of other Canadians here, so we'd be mindful of the fine line we walk, and don't, there's never a time to just kick your feet up and take a back seat and think that the world is going to take care of itself. It needs all of us to speak out and to act out and to vote out, as the case sometimes is.
Yeah, Pete used to say a few things that he used to talk about. He used to say that it's all the small things that we do that's going to make the difference. He said that, that people keep waiting for one big thing to happen to make a change. He said that's not the way change happens. It's all the small things that go on. And also, he would say that we musicians could teach the politicians that not everyone has to sing the melody. And that idea of participation is what's going to save this, who's going to save us. It's by participating, by going out, casting that ballot, or going out and making sure that when there's a march in your community that you're there, or you support different types of things. We can't do everything. Now let's be honest, and I don't want people to feel like, everybody's being asked to try to do all these things. No, I mean, we can't. Just sometimes it's impossible for all different kinds of reasons. But if we could do one thing, maybe that will help. And that could be, just getting together with your neighbors, trying to have civil conversations, with people that you don't agree with. Try to find some common ground. That's something that you can do, and something that's really important. And I think that's one of the things about music and festivals, that they bring people together. And maybe when people are gathered together, they can see each other and realize that maybe if they have some sort of a misconception about somebody, that they meet them in person and they realize, wow, they're not as bad as I thought they were. And maybe that's a step. Maybe it's a step. I don't know.
Just hearing you talk, I've got these little fireworks of song lyrics from my own childhood that are coming out. Things like the idea of, this little light of mine, like however tiny your light might be, shine it. Or there's remember a song, Brighten the Corner Where You Are? Or just, shine all your light. Yeah. And, sometimes it can feel like our own is struggling, right? So lean up against another and let that glow multiply.
And the thing is not to give up, Yeah. There's a little story that I learned years ago when I lived in Poland. And this was during martial law. This is when Solidarity was all locked up. Wow. And they talked about this man who lived at the top of the mountain. And he climbed down the mountain to go get some food. And at that time, everything was rationed. You could only get a small amount of meat or sugar or butter. He went down there and he saw that there was this ring of meat. And he got distracted for a moment and he turned his back to do something else and he came back and it was gone. And that was the last one. And there was nothing left. And he took his bread, he put it in his knapsack and he started climbing up the mountain. And he was getting really depressed because he was an older man and he saw a lot of hard times. And he got halfway up the mountain and his legs were hurting, and he was struggling. He was struggling to push himself up the mountain. And then he just sat down and he said, I'm getting old and I'm tired and this has gone on too long. And I just hope that I could just sit down on this mountain and die and be done with it. And he sat down. And then as he sat there, he started thinking. And he remembered a shortcut that he used when he was a young boy. And that shortcut got him right to the top of the mountain without having to struggle. So he said, maybe I can remember where that shortcut is. So he got his legs up and started walking again. And he started searching. He kept looking and looking. And his legs went higher and higher. And finally, there he was, standing at the top of the mountain. And he looked at himself and smiled and he said, sometimes in life, there are no shortcuts. Gdyby się ty gruniczku, a swój kamp kim nie żył, to byś mojem nóżeczku teraz nie ubliżył. Haj, teraz nie ubliżył. Hej, teraz nie ubliżył. So the lesson there is that there are no shortcuts. There are no easy ways sometimes, that we have to struggle in order to make things that are important happen. And maybe that's a lesson that we can apply during this difficult day.
Yeah. Sometimes there's no shortcuts and there's work to be done to have those good times come. Yeah.
So we have enough time to go over the song. Yeah, so we've been having such a good, insightful talk here. You have any questions to ask me?
Yeah, a couple of things. I learned that recently you've had surgery and you recovered.
Well, yeah,
okay?
I'm recovering. It's
Yeah.
been like 19 weeks since my surgery, and I couldn't play for many weeks. But I forced myself. I talk about no shortcuts. I pushed myself through the pain anyway and played anyway. And now my physical therapist said, part of your recovery and the reason you're doing so well is because you kept your hands moving and you kept on playing, even though it was difficult. So yeah, and I'm excited because I am playing a lot of little things here and there. One cool thing that some of our community, especially there's a lot of Vermonters here, there's going to be on July the 30th is going to be the Cabot's Arts Festival over in Cabot. And Dana Robinson and Sue Robinson, they have a wonderful, Joe Jenks is going to be there. Oh gosh, and Reggie Harris. And Rainey Arbo. There's going to be all kinds of wonderful people over at the at Cabot Arts Festival. So you might want to check that out.
If anyone can find a link for that.
Yeah, July
There's lots of
30th.
Wonderful
Yeah.
comments going on in the chat
I'll have to
here
save that,
about the other things that you were talking about, Rick. So it's a lovely community here. And you've written a book, Banjo Man. Tell us about it.
I just happen to have a copy right here. Yeah, this is my book, Banjo Man, and as you could see, it's a 530 some pages. My friend Mark Ross said, Rick, most people they write a book that you can't put down. You pick one. You wrote one you can't pick up. And it's filled with stories. And people can go to my website at Rik Palieri. That's RikPalieri.com. And you can find out more about that. And I sign each one. And my wife is a handbook binder, and we make a special handmade bookmarker in there. We try to do things in a very kind of a friendly way. And I have my TV show is started up again.
Okay.
The Songwriter's Notebook. And so I'm really excited. Garrett Clark and her partner TM. We're on doing a whole thing on New Age Native American flutes, so that's on right now. And then the Folk Talk Radio show is on folkmusicnotebook.com on Mondays at 7 p.m. and at midnight. And it's also on a community radio station on Sundays at 4 o'clock, and that 993wbtv.org. A lot of stuff to remember. And you guys are out there playing too, right?
We're doing some things. The Gettin Higher Choir just wrapped up our season. We just did a whole bunch of singing for ourselves without putting on a concert this season. We took a little break.
Yeah, but we have our Wednesday evening sing-in, which is when the weather's good and we're all well. We do it in the park down the street, so we can have folks gathering in the park, and it's online. So if you can't be here in person, you can join in on Zoom. And yeah, that information's on the website. We also have a Tuesday noon, the High Noon Choir, which is
noon hour
also
Pacific time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're out here on the West Coast. But yeah, you can find it all there. And there's, a YouTube channel if you're curious about what we've managed to do in concerts lately with our virtual choir things.
Yeah, there
but
we go.
We've been having fun. And Dennis on this call is usually part of the leadership of that. And there's many others. And if you put it on gallery view and wave enthusiastically, if you're connected with the Gettin Higher Choir, Wavelengths Choir, or Higher Waves as we've been calling us. Anyway, lots of folks in the room, lots of great overlap.
Mm-hmm. So why don't we sing the song again? You want to sing the song again? I'm sure that some of the people here, and if you have your instrument and you're in tune, there's our D. We all ready? All right. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. Sometimes in our living, it gets so dark and lonesome, seems like there's nothing we can do. So we reach out to each other, raise a song together, and this is the important one, and let our voices carry us through. Let's sing it together now. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. And when the war clouds gather, it's so easy to get angry, and just as hard not to be afraid. But in your own heart, no matter what happens, you just can't turn your back and walk away. Let me hear you now. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. So hand in hand together, we'll help each other carry that light of peace in us every day. If we could learn to live it, walk and talk and give it, that light of peace won't be so far away. Everybody, we are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. Last time. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come. We are singing through the hard times, singing through the hard times, working for the good times to come.
Thank
thank
you.
you, Rik.
Wonderful song for the times, and I think we are ready to wrap things up. Do we have any announcements from Joe or Jaden? Nothing there.
Right.
Any last words before we say goodbye, Rik? Thank you so
Well,
much.
I know that I was planning on doing a special show about hobos and hobos' secret codes, but we decided to switch gears because this was too important. But we're planning on doing that maybe next month, and and then I will teach everybody the hobo codes so that you'll understand what the Depression era hobos were doing, and you can write secret codes and don't have to use words just like they did.
All
Great.
right, sounds like fun. Great.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Rik, for that song and that message. And thank you, everyone, for joining in today and shining your lights where you are and doing the work that must be done. And I think we will sing you all out of the room. And with huge gratitude and thanks for the folks who showed up here on Facebook Live. It's been wonderful to have you with us. Keep coming back.
All right, we can say goodbye to Facebook folks, and let's take us out of the room. Again, thanks to the Beatles for some wonderful song and words. But Cathy's going to fill in the words today.
Here we go. Thank you for being